Okay, alhamdulillah, it's video 9, and I'm hoping to get close to done for myself. It'd be nice. Okay, so we're going to try to get this real quick. Okay, but we've had more videos before. Okay, it's just a lot of ground to cover, and you never know, how much time we got to get through this. I mean, how much time we have, before they try to interfere with the internet, because they want to get internet, net neutrality or net control. They want to get control of the internet so that you don't have access to this type of information. So whatever opportunity I have, that's why I say, no matter how long it takes, to write this up or to research this information, I want to get it out and get it to you as much as possible in one conversation, because you never know how much time you have to get it, and you might have to do work on your own, and you have to get yourself organized. So I want to give it to you as much as possible. So while the videos may take a bit of time, you study them, do what you got to do, so that you can have time to learn this information for yourself. Because if they try to block things out, you'll still know what's going on, because you'll have the information ahead of time. And that's why it's so important. And that's why no matter how long the video takes, I still record them, so that no matter how many videos I gotta make on this subject matter, I go ahead and do that, because you need to know what's going on, because they're trying to get control of the internet, so that to block the information out, so you won't have the information, so they can still keep you in spiritual darkness and attached to their infectious tits, and they can continue to manipulate and destroy you and enslave you. So that's why no matter how long it is, I tell you, so that you'll have time to you still have time to hear this information. Okay, so as we said, the only begotten Son represents, and is now to represent, the new nation, because the only begotten Son is represented by a Rothschild, and then his child, the one that he has protected somewhere, who's about 14 years old now. Okay, who's going to come out and say he's Christ. This is the one that's going to come out and say he's Christ. He's born. And remember what I said, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, that's one of the big signs, is when the Dajjal comes out and all these people follow him. They're going to be people who believe in him and follow him, and he's going to have the Magog's going to be with him, and he's going to have control of the weather and all of this stuff. So it's going to happen. They're going to happen. These big signs are going to follow each other really rapidly before the day of judgment, and you'll know we're in the end times, and we're in the end times. We're in the last hour. So you need to be prepared. You need to know what you know, and have a solid foundation and truth in what you know. So the only begotten now, who took control of this whole system, the dog system, is Rothschild right now. And that's why he wants his one world order, and he wants to sit on the throne so he can pass that off to his son, who is 14 now. Okay, who's got that sign between his forehead, and it says Kafir, and you'll be able to read it. Okay, they'll probably try to cover it up, and they'll probably try to make his one eye look good, but they can't do nothing with his height unless he wears shoes, But he's a pretty interesting, weird-looking fellow, I can imagine. They probably try to do a lot of plastic surgery to cover that stuff up, But you gotta, he's here. So that means the prophet born of a virgin will be here soon too. Okay? Or if not, he's already here. Only Allah knows, because we did see the comments. Okay? So let me proceed, try to get this done fast. So the only begotten is that Rothschild, right? I should start by saying A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim over my videos, and that's how I'll start next time, inshallah. And that means Allah protect me from Iblis and his jinn and his jinn nation and his Neanderthals. Okay, so he represents the only begotten in his central banking system, right? And that's how he controls man, through his central banking system. Okay, and the throne, or the seat of Romulus, which is now Thor's child, Rothschild, okay, is going to be Israel, right? Named after his spiritual godfather, Ra, or Romulus, and and on the etherosphere, right? Representing the etherosphere, the sphere of God, the Word of God, right? And his mother, who represents Isis, or the crown of England, right? Who's represented on the, supposed to represent the astrosphere, right? Okay, the planet, the sphere of the planets, right? Who was supposed to represent the planet of astrology, where astrology comes through, which was big in Babylon, right? But we got to understand this. The stars do mean something, because if it didn't mean, the celestial sphere got to mean something, because Ramadan is in the 9th month, right? And it starts when we first see the halal, right? The crescent of the moon, right? And so, so the celestial sphere is important. And then the prophet Isa was it's one of the signs of him returning is to see those comets, right? So we got to be mindful of those the celestial sphere, right? So it's not to say that astrology is bad; it's the interpretation of it's bad. Just like the building of that dog nation as a counterfeit to the abiding by the natural laws, but which are spiritual laws, right? Because it's constructed to keep the man, like the diffusion of the molecules or the atom. That's a spiritual law, right? A natural law, okay? Because it was created by Allah. Okay, so messing with those, manipulating those natural laws, spiritual laws, man and woman, okay, then the gene pool, okay, that's messing with natural laws, spiritual laws, right, to manipulate and control, right? So, where was I? How did I get there? Okay, so they're following that order, is what I'm saying. They're just manipulating humanity to think that that they are God. That's the real world. We talked about it at the beginning, okay? But it's really an artificial. It's you know, just like they created man out of dog, right? It's a hybrid Neanderthal, okay? And he looks like a real man, right? Because through the years of breeding and inbreeding and all this kind of stuff, he looks like a man. Well, same thing with their counterfeit world and utilizing the symbols and the knowledge and the genetic structure as it was created by Allah. Okay, so it's counterfeit. Okay, so and they want to make you think astrology's of the devil too. So you don't look to the stars and try to figure out what these things mean. Okay. Just like when a comet, they tell you, when you see a meteorite shooting through the star, shooting through the sky, that's a falling star. And the best thing to do is make a wish on it. No, what's reality, it's said that the jinn used to try to go to the highest level of heaven to try to listen to what the favors Allah was going to, how Allah was going to bestow reward upon those who believed in, those his worshippers. He was going to bestow reward upon them, and the bad, not the bad, but the Iblis would go up, and his jinn would try to go up there and listen, and then Allah started protecting. Allah protected the highest realms of the heaven, and they would be, when they tried to come to listen, the meteorites would be thrown at them, and that's why Muslims, when they come down from when they come down from the Hajj, making Hajj from Mount Arafat, they throw stones at the spot that the devil was seen at, just like when he was there listening to, trying to hear the prayers and interfere with that. Probably that's what he was doing. That's all he can ever do is try to interfere. And the believers throw stones symbolically of what Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did when he told the believers that the devil was there, and they threw stones at him. Just like when those meteorites come through the air and you see them, oh, there's a meteor, falling star. It's not a meteorite. It's chasing a jinn. It's chasing the devil because the devil tried to listen to something that he wasn't supposed to hear, and he's trying to bring it back, okay, to what they said, to like maybe fortune tellers and things like that, because nobody can tell the future but Allah, you know, but they can try to understand what's going on, okay. But so when they go up to the highest heaven, they throw stone. The meteorites follow them and to destroy them, and so that's what you're really witnessing: a jinn being pursued by this flaming rock, a meteorite. Okay, and as I said, Muslims do that symbolically. when they come down from Mount Arafat, and after making Hajj, and they threw rocks at the spot where the devil was seen, is symbolic. It's, you see what I'm saying? Like it's as above, so below. Okay? Well, the devil tried to come and he tries to interfere with people's prayer, right? And so people got to use spiritual means to get rid of him. Okay? So, okay. So that's what I'm saying. He tries to use that spiritual counter system to counterfeit it, okay, and make you think his system is real, okay. His system, his evolutionary system is real. It's real to him, but it's not real for man. Okay, it's not the natural way man was created. Okay. So, as we said, so that's this Holy Spirit of Isis. Oh, you know, she read the England, the witch in England represents supposed to represent the Holy Spirit of Isis, of femininity, of womanhood, and Venus and all of that. Okay, and Venus represents beauty, and you need to look at her and see if she's beautiful. Okay, and youthful and all that, but and see if she represents that. Okay. So that's the Gog Mommy and God Daddy. Gog Mommy and God Daddy, as it represents God, their god Anubis. That's their spirituality. That's the consciousness of Romulus. That's the consciousness of the commercial republic. Okay, the devil dog consciousness, whom they call God, and their holy trinity with the Godhead. Okay, which is not natural for mankind. They just teach you that it's natural because they taught your mama and daddy that it's natural, and they teach the preacher that it's natural because they put it in the Bible, right? Because they remember they got together, Constantine, to construct the Bible, and then what is his name? James, King, their King James, and remember what the monarchy represents, dog heads. You think they're gonna put the truth in that? No, they're not. So, so King James wrote his version of the Bible for his what? His Anglicans, right? His Anglican sect, right? And they organize it according to names that's favorable to them. Okay, and that's why you hear Muslims say all the time, you know, they respect Prophet Isa and they respect the Bible, and there are many aspects in the Bible that teach really well, but the Bible has been penned, and that means rewritten and interpreted by their monarchs, okay, to support them and keep humanity oppressed. Okay, and that's why they're trying to flush the Quran, because they haven't had a chance to taint that. You know, it still has its original language, okay, and they still have original texts. Okay, so that, like I said, she's to counterfeit Isis and feminine energy, and the only begotten Rome is to counterfeit mankind, and their father Romulus is supposed to counterfeit God. Okay, and in their world, it's true in their world, okay, in their counterfeit world, in their secular world, their commercial secular world. Okay, so okay, so okay, so now, and that represents for him the Elohim. The three-headed dog represents the Elohim. Okay, like Abraham, they have their Elohim. Okay, thus in their commercial world, thus Israel, okay, or El is Ra, Bet El is Ra, house, okay, it's supposed to be El Bet is Ra, El Bet is Ra. That's what Israel really means. El Bet is Ra, high house of Isis and Osiris. That's what it means. Israel means high house of Isis and Ra, okay, or high house of the sun or Venus and the sun. Okay, that's what it's supposed to represent, and that's why they have the interlocking symbol. They tell you it's the Star of David. It's not the Star of David. It's the two interlocking pyramids that represent the male and female energy, the masculine and female energy interlocked. It's basically a sex symbol. Okay, it represents, and as it represents a sex symbol, it represents the wholeness, man and woman coming together to produce one, right? The one being what? the sun. Okay, so that's why it's his new home. It represents his home. Okay. So it represents the father and the mother together. Okay. Venus and the sun together. Okay, as one. Okay, and it also represents the high, above, and below, or it represents the two spiritual dimensions coming together, the jinn and the physical world coming together, the ethereal world and the temporal world. No, the ether world and the astral world coming together to produce the temporal world. So it can be seen in that perspective too. Okay. Now, so that's what El Bet Israel means, and that's what Elizabeth means. High Isis home. But she's basically the embodiment. Her name reflects her as being the embodiment of Isis, Venus. Okay, she represents the astrosphere, the counterfeit. She's a counterfeit representation of that. See what I'm saying? All of them are the counterfeit representation of that. In their world, they actually represent that. In their world, they represent the counter representation of that. In the natural world, yes, a woman represents that. Man represents that. The sun represents masculine energy, as man represents the spiritual head, and he represents in the natural world, the world created of man, natural man represents the sun represents the masculine energy, the solar energy embodied in man. The Venus represents female, represents the West, represents the woman, the natural woman. Yes, it represents all this. So they got to counterfeit that, though. You see what I'm saying? In their evolutionary world, to have any life at all, because only life comes from one source, and that's the Creator. So they're stealing that and counterfeiting that, and then making you believe that their counterfeit is real, which you have the real, and they have the counterfeit, but they wanted to misguide you to that and deceive you, and that's why you got to come out of that. Okay? Now, and that's what it is. And so that's what he wants to reflect, the only throne of humanity, and that's what they want to force the world to believe through the United Nations, because the Vatican actually controls and establishes the United Nations. Okay, they actually did that, and that's when Bush said, who's also one of them, who said, a Neanderthal dog man, who said, and they want to get another one in the House. Jeb Bush and Hillary's already controlled by them too. So you got to be careful. Anybody who supports El Bet Israel, then you better not support them, because they're supporting the dogman, they're supporting Lucifer, they're supporting Iblis, they're supporting the Jinn, Anakian, Neanderthal nation. They're supporting the restructuring of Babylon. They want you to think that world that is real and it has all the power, and that's why they're sucking all the power out the natural world, to make you think it has the only power, and that's the only place you are to go for your food, and that's why they want you dependent on that. That's why they want to educate you in a way that supports them, and make you forget about the spiritual and just depend on the secular world, and then mark you up and tell you can't do business unless you do business with them, and then they have spiritual control to put a program in your head, a chip in your head, and shut you down and shut your bank account down. That's why they want one monetary system, so you have to comply with that, no other monetary system and all this kind of stuff, so you can depend on nothing, and give you a card where they can shut you down in the bank, and they want electronic money and all of this bull crap. No, you don't need money. They're electronic money. Multiple money systems are good. BRICS is good. It's good to have diverse money systems. That way, if you can't trade business and feed yourself in one means of economy, you can do it in another way, because you got to eat. Okay, and your children have to eat. They want to manipulate you and think electronic money is a good way. No, it ain't. Not if they can shut it down. Now, you can have electronic money, and you can have BRICS money, and you can have the dollar, and you can have all kinds of money, but not just one currency controlled by one person. No, giving him all the power, and in one religion, spiritual. And that will be evolution. So anybody who's supporting El Bet Israel or Israel is supporting the beast. Okay? If you ask them a question, how do you feel about Israel? What do you want to do about Israel? What do you think we should do about Palestine? They don't tell you Palestine should be one nation, okay? Then you know who they're supporting, okay? And they want to go to war with Iran, you know who they're supporting. And they talk about going to killing striking ISIS, you know who they really striking, because you know the CIA and made ISIS. Okay? And if you're scared of this video, listen to this video, then don't be scared when they come after you, okay? Don't be scared when they come after you, because they're trying to come after all humanity. They'll check that DNA. And once they find you got human DNA, forget about being black. Once they find out you got that human DNA, they're going to, what, FEMA camps? Okay? You think they're making them FEMA camps for human beings, okay? For the natural man and woman and child, okay? They're going to be black people, white people. They're going to be white Africans, white natural human beings, all kind of natural human beings up in those places. Okay, from all walks of culture. Because you're not different races, you're just different cultures. You had developed different ways of surviving, okay? Different ways of listening. Of taking care of yourself and healing yourself and educating yourself. You're different culture, but you're not a different race. But they want to keep you stupid and they'll educate you in your schools. You're a different race. No, you're not. Race, culture results to ethnicity. You're different. Ethnically, you're different. That means you're different culturally, but you're not different racially. You're from one family of man, and that's the African. Okay? Whether you're a Japanese man, whether you're a European man, whether you're Indian man, you're an African man. You're a natural man. Okay, or a natural woman, or a natural child, and you have to see it this way. That's the only way you're going to survive. You can't translate it and use their language, because if you use their language, you're going to screw yourself up. You have to see it as it is. Okay, so that's why they're going to Rome. Now, that's what I said. Is there any wonder why when Britain occupied Palestine, and it supports to continue, it passes off to Rothschild? Okay, because Rothschild gave himself that gift. Okay, because he's God of his world. He's Anubis. Okay, he's Anubis. He's Dogman. He's Anubis. Okay, he's head of the Anubis of the commercial world, of his commercial empires, commercial republics. Okay, and that's why Britain continues to support the occupation of Palestinians. That's why they didn't talk about what happened in 2014. And that's why they gave Rothschild, or Thor's child, I'm going to report to him as Thor's child, because he got that up in that Druidian stuff in there. Thor's child, who's control of the astral, the ethereal, and the astral, and the temporal world. Controlling that with using that his monetary funds, right, and hitmen and all that kind of stuff. Okay, that's why they didn't protest. They gave him that, okay, as a gift. Okay, and he's renaming it Beit El Isra, or Israel, right, after the crown head Rome, which is the crown head of England. Okay, the secular or the artificial crown head of England, the dog head of England, the dog crown head of England, and the dog crown head of Rome. Okay, it's combined in one. Okay, and he's that child. He's a product of that. Okay, and so that's why I said, is there any wonder why he would use the interlocking triangles? Okay, to represent his El Bet Isra, as it represents the two worlds conjoined, the one world above and the one world below, united above and below. So above, so below. That's what it's representing in Israel. But as above, it represents his Enochian world, his jinn world. Okay, the spiritual world above and the physical world below. The black woman, or the world of the woman, the African woman, the natural woman, and the world of the jinn world of the father, the world of the jinn. Okay, connected to create him, what he represents, that Neanderthal, Gog and Magog, Ashkenazi commercial empire, new world order, secular world. dull. It's not secular from his world, because in his world he's structuring the way the God is to be worshipped. It's already been structured. He's just implementing that, because remember, he's the son, right? Okay, but he represents that because that's what he is, a product of it, right? Okay, so he represents that's why he has Israel representing that home of the new Rome, right? Which is above the celestial ethereal world, the what? The vortex, right? In the east, okay? Okay. Okay. So, and as I said, she represents, she counterfeits their queen, their dog queen, represent their queen dog head represents Masadi El Madunya. She's a replica. She's to represent Masadi El Madunya. Okay, that's what she's to represent. Beit Elizabeth, right, to represent the house of Egypt. Okay, the embodiment of Egypt. She's to represent that. Okay. So, and as I said, represent the complete, and together they represent the complete spiritual, ethereal, and the physical realm, the male and the female, the dog male, the hybrid male, and the hybrid female, the twins, right? They represent the twins. Okay. And some say that that's supposed to be represented again by it's rumored to represent by Beyonce, Jay-Z, and their daughter. It's rumored. It's rumored. Okay. It's spiritual rumored. Okay. Anyway, she's to represent the mother god, the child god, but in a new twist, the daughter god, or Aphrodite, which Aphrodite was supposed to be the representative of a penis that grew up out of the water, but the penis of Satan, or Iblis, as they would say, because Satan is supposed to be represent Iblis, so she's to represent Iblis, the penis of Iblis, the child of Iblis, the female, to start the cycle all over again, Venus, okay, and he's to represent the so they're supposed to represent the Holy Family, that Holy Black Family, okay? And you got to know it. Well, that's what it's rumored to represent, okay? And that's why I said she wore the ring of Baphomet, because it represents him and her to represent the twins, right? Isis and Osiris, okay, the twins, and then they had a child, right? And that the Aphrodite, the one wearing the afro, and that's why the gender neutral, to have Hermaphrodite to represent the afro representing first of all the black, but then keeping it in afro to represent the duality of male and female, okay, to have her look like that. So that's what that's set to represent. They're to represent the twins, okay. That's what is stated, okay. Because they need that power again. They need the power again. So, anyway, so, okay, so as we said, so they're to represent the complete spiritual body, okay, the above and below, okay, embodiment of the crown, and that's what I'm talking about in England and Rome, again, I'm off of that Holy Grail, Jay-Z stuff, rumor stuff. Anyway, as I said, so she's to represent the Holy Mother of the only begotten Son, okay, known as, and she's to be known, and she's to be known as I said, Egypt and Masri El Madunya, okay, the High Mother of the world, okay, and we said that, okay, and as we said, he represents, okay, the commercial sun, that's what it represents. But what's called represents it all now, Rothschild. So we're just talking about one, right? Okay, but we're just talking about how it represented in the past, prior to, as Rothschild began to grow in power, in monetary power. Because remember, he was in control of a whole country, a whole country, Britain, which was supposed to be the most powerful nation, which was. the most powerful, which was a very powerful empire that lasts for a thousand years. Okay, and there's something said about the 1,000 years when the world would end, and the gel would have power for 1,000 years, and then it would go to a month, and then it would go to a week, and then it would, all his days would be like the rest of the days, and that's when you know he's fallen from heaven, and that's when you'd be able to see him, and he would be destroyed when he came, when his days would, all his days would be like the rest of the days of man. Well, that is coming. That is coming. He's already here, and his days will be like the rest of the days of man when he becomes a child. I mean, an adult. Okay. Inshallah, that'll be soon. Okay. So we said, okay, and that's what I talked about, the child. Okay. 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 So the mother head is supposed to be like the Black Madonna, right? She's supposed to be the mother, the Diana, okay? And that's why Diana gave birth to who? Diana gave birth to Will.I.Am. Okay, so Diana was supposed to be, they were using Diana to represent Isis, to represent the black mother. That's why they gave her a ring that had diamonds around it, white diamonds around a black stone. That black stone represented Saturn. The white diamonds represented the sons, okay, her sons, not the sons of the one she gave birth to, but the son as it represents her being the Holy Mother and all sons of God being hers. Okay, and then they gave that ring to Will's new wife, Kate, Diana's ring. So the Kate would represent that. And that's what Kate's supposed to represent. And her son is supposed to represent the Lucifer. Her son is supposed to represent on the control of the body. Okay? So he's supposed to be the crown prince. Okay? And she's supposed to represent the Black Madonna. And that's why she got that black ring. Okay? So that's the game they're playing. But she hasn't been given the power because the other one, the other imposter hasn't been taken. Allah hasn't taken her out of her body yet, so she's still here. So there's still no real queen, but it's symbolically that's what it represents. Okay, and they operate on the symbolic level. Okay, so okay, so she's to represent the African goddess. That's why they went to Egypt for their honeymoon. That's why Diane and them went to, and Charles, when they got married, they went to Egypt. They went to Africa. They always go to Egypt. Always trying to be up in my house. Okay? Stay the fuck up out my house, you damn dogs. Sons of bitches. Stay up out my house. Because you know you're sons of bitches. And Allah protect me from you evil sons of bitches. Okay? Okay. Because, alhamdulillah, I am the queen. I got the credentials. Allah protect. Long live the queen. Queen Phoenix Ramadan L. Jackson. MashaAllah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah protect her with the sword of Michael, his heart archangel, the sword of Michael. Allah protect me and Allah guide me. Allah strengthen me. Okay, and which represents the planet, the female planet, the mother planet. Okay, like there's a father planet and a mother planet. Okay. Well, masculine, representing the masculine energy, the energy of the man, and the energy of the electromagnetic energy of the woman. I gotta go to video 10. Assalamu alaikum.